Honorable CS, we just learned from one committee that you have not deployed even 1 shilling to the new funding models for TVETs for financial years 2023-2024, 2024-2025, 2025-2026. And as a result, learners from the most poor families are actually dropping off because their capitation or under the new funding model has not happened in the TVETs. And yet we still have many other who have not yet joined TVETs. How can we be reducing poverty if we don't honor such a basic need?
Senator Sifuna.
Honorable Speaker, listening to the CS, some of the figures that he was throwing around left me a bit confused. In December last year, Honorable Speaker, there was a report by Oxfam titled Kenya's Inequality Crisis, the Great Economic Divide. The report from Oxfam put the figure of Kenyans living under extreme poverty at 50%. I've heard the Honorable CS talking about 39.8, and they cited certain reasons, including the rising cost of living and inflation, which is at 50% higher than it was in 2020. We spoke about that period before COVID. My question specifically to the CS is about this Nyota program. You said it has received a lot of publicity because you publicize it. It is essentially a political rally. So the question I want to ask the CS on these Nyota funds, can you tell this House the expense side of hosting those Nyota events? How much it costs for you to put up those fanciful tents that we see? How much it costs to transport all of you, including the President, to those events? And lastly, why you allow politics to be played on those podiums? I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Cheruiyot.
Mr. Speaker, I have a question to the CS. This is a very important subject that you are discussing on alleviating poverty amongst our citizens. And I must appreciate the interventions that have been listed and the measures that government is putting in place to try and help the less fortunate amongst us. There's a figure that the CS mentioned that by a cleanup of the register, they were able to save 2 billion shillings in the cash transfer program for the vulnerable in our society. Apart from cleaning up the register, were there any sanctions, CS, to public officers who may have been involved in either populating a list with people who are not deserving or ghost beneficiaries, Mr. Speaker? Last comment on Nyota is that I want to ask the CS to publicize it as much as possible alongside any other programs. Any program that helps citizens and makes their life better, Mr. Speaker, I believe should be publicized as much as possible. I thank you.
Cherargei, Samson.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. And Waziri, just a quick one. You have discussed the issue of poverty elevation, especially among the young people, Nyota youth development programs that are supposed to be in place. My question through the Speaker is, Waziri, what mechanisms of evaluation and monitoring you have put in place to ensure that young people, or what you are doing in Nyota, and you know, Mr. Speaker, the issues of youth are so much more important that it needs the attention of the President. So, Speaker, what I'm asking is there evaluation and monitoring mechanisms that we have put in place? And Waziri, what strategies that are in place to ensure that this issue are long-term and ignore haters like Seneta Sifuna, who doesn't even know where ODM certificate is?
We've heard your question, Senator.
Is not a
Senator Fernandi, take your seat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I refer to the response by the CS on economic empowerment, Mr. Speaker, and I refer specifically to Nyota program, Mr. Speaker, where when these funds are being distributed to young people, the President is always in attendance. So could the CS Treasury tell us exactly how much does the country spend in transporting the president
Senator Newton, that's a repeat question. It's a question that has already been asked. So just wait for its response.
Okay. No.
Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond and kindly do so in less than 10 minutes so that we wrap up on this particular question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the question, the first question by Senator Mbugua on the Nyota program and the persons living with disabilities who have benefited or are benefiting from Nyota program, I wish to state that so far 26,000 persons living with a disability have benefited from this program. So it's not that they have been neglected completely. There is a component of the funding that has been designated specifically for persons living with a disability. Senator Muma has asked me about support to TVET institutions. As a matter of fact, we are supporting TVET institutions. We have included the funding of TVET together with other tertiary institutions and the Higher Education Loans Board program. And in terms of capitation, I know there was challenges, but it's not that we have not provided money completely. There are challenges with the funding of TVETs, and we have got the data on how to fund, how much is needed, but because of sometimes financial constraints, we are not able to provide enough funding to TVETs, but it remains a priority. In fact, we have even received some funding. We are receiving some funding from China to support the TVET activities. And TVET is at the core of the government agenda. As we prepare the budget of 26-27, we are going to make sure that TVETs are supported in terms of capitation, because that is where the challenge has been. On the questions by Honorable Sifuna about the figures from Oxfam and my figures, I am putting public figures, Mr. Speaker, and figures that have come from government institutions that I think we have faith in. Because again, every country has their system of doing their survey. If we have put a government institution in place that is doing household survey, and they have given us the data that in 2009, our poverty index was at 54%. And that went down in 2015 to 36.1%, and went down even further in 2019 to 33.6%, but rose or went up during COVID to 42.9%, and then went down to 39.8%. I have no reason to doubt those figures, unless I am proved to be wrong, or the institution which is doing the survey is proved to be wrong. So I am relying on authentic figures, figures that we can challenge. If we feel we don't agree with the figures, we can challenge them. But these are statistics that have not come from the moon. They are with us, they're public documents, and can be checked. On the issue of Nyota, and whether it's a political rally, you know, Kenyans are very interesting, Mr. Speaker. When you don't communicate, they complain. They want public participation. When you do it, why are you doing it? You are politicizing. How much are you using? I don't know whether you expect the president to walk to Kisumu on foot to go and conduct public sensitization on a very critical and important program of government targeting the youth.
Order, honorable senators. Order. Order. Senator Fernandi, you either be orderly or I'll ask you to leave the chamber. I don't know where that excitement is coming from. Let us listen to the CS in silence. Now, Honorable Senator for Nairobi, you cannot rise on a point of order against the CS. It is up to the Speaker to rule. Proceed and conclude, Honorable CS.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was just explaining that we need proper sensitization to the youth in terms of how to run the businesses that they are going to start using this Nyota program. And again, we need no lesser office than the head of state. to be able to articulate and explain to the youth the agenda of the government, because he was elected to address problems of Kenya. The president was not elected to sit at State House. We need a president who reaches to Kenyans, talk to them, explain the government programs.
No.
Mr. Speaker, on Majority Leader...
Honorable Senator, Honorable CS,
Yes.
the question that has been asked by Senator for Nairobi is for you to tell the country how much has been expended.
Mr. Speaker, if I was...
If you don't have the figure...
Yeah, and again, but what I know is has been spent within the budget of the president to run the government. The president has a budget at State House to run programs. And all the expenditure...
Order, Honorable Senator. Senator Fernandi.
So, Mr. Speaker, the confirmation that I would give this House is that the budget that the head of state has spent in going around to sensitize Kenyans on the Nyota program is within the budget of State House provided by the National Assembly of the Republic of Kenya. Majority Leader asked me whether we have sanctioned the officers who probably were involved in giving us figures that were not accurate. I think the line ministry is dealing with that, but the line ministry helped us to clean the system, get 2 billion, which we actually reallocated to support health programs for those Kenyans who cannot afford to pay for their health programs. So this money that was saved was properly put to support the health programs. Senator Manzo, you asked me about Galana Kulalu. First, for us to be able to irrigate 200,000 acres of Galana Kulalu project, we'll have to do a dam along the river, the Galana, that around the Galana Kulalu. And it will be costing us almost 40 billion. Thwake Dam, I'm sure you are aware that we have unlocked all the challenges that were facing Thwake Dam. And therefore now, African Development Bank, and I signed with them, they are supposed now to complete the dam. So it is not a challenge anymore. We know where the challenge was, and I'm sure Senator is aware of the challenges. But in terms of irrigating Galana Kulalu, we need more resources to do a dam that will help us irrigate 200,000 acres. And Mr. Speaker, if we irrigate 200,000 acres, imagine 1 acre produces 30 bags of maize. That we approved, we harvested in December. Out of the 1,500 acres, each acre produced 30 bags. 30 bags times 200,000 acres is giving you 6 million bags. And the harvesting will be done twice in a year. So that is 12 million bags. And the deficit, the most deficit that we have in Kenya, shortage, is between 10 and 15. So Galana Kulalu alone can help us fix the problem of food deficiency in this country. Senator John Meth, again you asked the same questions. New to, yes. Oh, sorry. I got your name wrong. You'll forgive me. But I know you very well. You are always a permanent visitor in not my sitting room, because you are always speaking when I'm in the office. You are always there on Citizen, so I watch you. And giving me some very good tips on how not to do things. But again, on your program, you are asked how much is being used to transport the president to this Nyota program. We spend as much as the parliament has appropriated to State House to support and facilitate the head of state. So that is what we spend. Thank you.